Alrighty guys, so after you guys enjoyed the video, make sure to hit the description down below and check out the Innovation Yu-Gi-Oh! Amazon page for all of your Yu-Gi-Oh! Needs. What's going on everyone? So in today's video, it's actually going to be kind of like a response video and follow up to VCTRFS's video about how Yu-Gi-Oh! Is pretty much dying and how Yu-Gi-Oh! Is pretty much a dying TCG. So without that being said guys, without further ado, let's begin. Start by saying there's been a lot of buzz in the community thanks to VCTRFS. His original video will be in the description down below. And it's pretty much been going around Yu-Gi-Oh! Dying, and he gave us specific reasons why. One of the main reasons why that he kept preaching is pretty much not enough kids playing the game. And I'll go into why that's important later. But for the most part, the main issues he had with the Yu-Gi-Oh! TCG is how Konami is handling the game. Now, I agree with all his points. Like I said, this video won't be in the description. But I personally have my own thoughts on why I think the decline of Yu-Gi-Oh! TCG is happening. So, let's begin. Starting off with the Konami Stock Exchange. Now, I don't know if you guys remember, but recently, earlier this year, the Konami entity has removed themselves from the stock exchange. Now, from me being a little into stocks, that's not a good sign. Typically, when a major corporation removes themselves from a stock exchange, that's when their stocks are going solo, and that's when a lot of their investors are pulling out. And Konami has already have a history of being shady business people, and they already have a history of just treating their employees really, really bad. So just pulling out of a stock exchange in general, that makes investors feel very scared, and that just lets you know that the company's money is on a decline, despite the fact that I think something like Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links had 2 billion downloads, which is an amazing outreach to get, but it's not enough to keep a company on a stock exchange and keep the investors investing to the company. So that's one of the main things I want to talk about, because it deflects the TCG just simply due to the fact that even though that's Konami as a whole entity and Yu-Gi-Oh! Is a small sector of Konami, because Konami does the digital Japanese games, like the gambling machines, and they do the video game. They have a bunch of different sectors. If the entire company, if you can't invest into that company and they own all these major things, in my personal opinion, something's going on in the inner side of the company that a lot of people has not reached to the public yet. And I'm pretty sure once it's reached to the public, it would not be too late. So that's just a theory of mine. And yeah, just for this is what I learned about stocks. Just getting removed off stock exchange is really bad. Now back to the not enough kids playing part. That's really important. And I've said this in previous live streams I've done. And it's like, okay, when I was a kid growing up playing Yu-Gi-Oh!, obviously there were a lot of kids playing Yu-Gi-Oh! And doing research before this video, I believe in 2004, Yu-Gi-Oh! Made $26 billion, if I'm not mistaken. And they were the #1 card game at the time. #1 kids game in general, beating out Hasbro's Beyblade, from what the article I read said. You guys already know Beyblade Let It Rip was an amazing show. But yeah, 2004 was a great year for Yu-Gi-Oh! And 2004 was a great year. $26 billion was a lot of money to be made. But if you fast forward to 2017, the same amount of kids are not playing Yu-Gi-Oh! I mean, I might see a few kids here and there at the Dragon Duelist, but like VCTRF said in his video, the Dragon Duelist event is getting smaller, smaller, and smaller, and there's not enough fresh blood entering the event. Now, for me personally, looking at the Dragon Duelist event, most of the kids that were in the Dragon Duelist event are the kids who've been playing consistently every year, and I'm pretty sure that they're just the kids who probably go to locals with their older brothers, their dads even. Heck, if my son gets into Yu-Gi-Oh!, I would love to have him enter Dragon Duels to give it a shot at trying to go on the Worlds. But when we don't have enough fresh blood going into the game, you gotta think long term and think, how many more years this game can last when it comes down to not having the kids into the game? Because a lot of kids ain't playing. 10 years down the line, when they get older, if Yu-Gi-Oh! Still a thing, the community is going to just dwindle by pretty much 70 or 80%, just due to the fact that most people who play it now are teenagers or in their late 20s, like me. I'm like the first generation of Yu-Gi-Oh! Player, so it's like I'm probably going to be in my mid to late 30s if I do play, or if I am an active player, I won't be playing as much as I used to. And with that being said, obviously 30s, 40s, 50s, you might play once a year. That's pretty much, that's like not even saying you're a competitive player at that point. So when you don't have enough competitive players, events will dwindle, events will get less support, and the game will eventually just die from being a game you go to play. And another thing I want to talk about, other than the kids not playing enough, because that's just a whole bundle of worms itself, is Konami not caring enough. Now, I was listening to a live stream last night by another YouTuber, Mystic V, and his buddy talked about the whole Kojima thing with Konami and Metal Gear Solid, and how Konami seriously does not care. So, because you know, Visa Travis, he wants us to boycott Konami, and he wants us to email them letters saying, give us our ban list, give judges better price structure. The thing is, Konami's a Japanese company, and they're one of those companies that if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And if you don't like our way, it's the highway. They're pretty much set in their times. And what this pretty much does for a player who's passionate about the game, they don't care. So they feel like, okay, if you don't want to play their game, their way, you can F off in their opinion and just go do something else, and they'll just cancel the game. Yu-Gi-Oh! Is not a huge property for them, enough for them to care. Yu-Gi-Oh! Is like a small sector. Their biggest property is the gambling machines, and that's all they care about. They let one of their best people go from the actual video game sector, which is Kojima and his Metal Gear Solid series. So that's huge, and I don't know the numbers between Metal Gear Solid and Yu-Gi-Oh! But if they're anything, I'm pretty sure they're neck and neck, if not more, because Metal Gear Solid is a video game, and video games make a ton of money nowadays. So Konami, just their business practice as a whole is enough to make Yu-Gi-Oh! Be on a decline, because if they don't care, that effectively affects the TCG and the OCG players even on how the game is. Because look at the TCG right now. We haven't had ban lists in forever. We have different ban lists when we do have a ban list. So OCG and TCG is the same game, but we have separate set of rules, which is completely, utterly retarded. And then not to mention, they get stuff ahead of, or at least ahead of time, and we get stuff like we're like a month or two behind them. So once the Worlds come around, they have an advantage because they had the card pool longer, and that's just complete bull. Just simply due to the fact that it's like, okay, bro, we understand that, you know, OCG, Yu-Gi-Oh! Came out in the OCG first, and it started in 1996 in Japan, and it started in 2002 in America, and that was a 6-year gap. You know, back then, before computers were like everywhere, before everyone had a phone, and people couldn't really hop online like they wanted to, it made sense to have a separate ban list. But it's 2017. We need a unified ban list. We need set ban list dates, not just for the TCG, for the OCG too. I mean, OCG pretty much have set ban list dates, but it's a lot of things that's going wrong in the TCG outside, in the OCG, outside of not having cash pricing. I mean, the price structure is pretty mediocre in my personal opinion, especially for the regionals and the YCS. I definitely believe top 32 YCS should receive better price structure than what they currently have. And same thing for regionals. If you top 8 regionals, or if you get first, second, and third place for a regional, I highly do believe those type of things should be valued more and should have more prestige. To, okay, after the regional event, top 8 happens, everyone goes home, you have to pretty much roll the dice to get what you want. That's complete dumb. But these are all problems on why I think Yu-Gi-Oh! Is personally in decline. And overall, I think all of these things added together can really screw us over as Yu-Gi-Oh! Players, because we all love this game. Now, things can fix this. One thing that Konami can work on is the Duel Links. And the reason why I say Duel Links is because, okay, I have a theory about all card games in general, and Asian Eyes had this theory last year. I remember a video I was watching with Asian Eyes, and he was talking about how Konami Yu-Gi-Oh! Not having a Yu-Gi-Oh! TCG online platform is going to significantly kill the game eventually, and it's currently killing the game because we need something official, simply due to the fact that it's 2017, everything is going digital. Truth be told, a lot of people do not have the time, patience, and or money to leave their house to go to a card shop to play Yu-Gi-Oh! So what about the people who, like me, who's a parent, who would love to play Yu-Gi-Oh! But can't do it all the time? If you develop an app or a video game system you can download to your computer to play Yu-Gi-Oh! Digitally, and have online tournaments from the official company that is Konami, not would Konami only save money from printing, it'll make Yu-Gi-Oh! a better, especially with the VR thing. You can put the headset on. You can pretty much pretend like you're on a TV show. I mean, something like that would be expensive, but it'd definitely be worth it for everyone to live out their Yu-Gi-Oh! Battle City dreams. I mean, can you just imagine having a headset on and walking around in a virtual reality world, which is your living room, to play an actual Yu-Gi-Oh! Event? That'd be crazy. So that's just something I feel like that's happening for everything. Everything's going digital. And eventually I feel like Yu-Gi-Oh! Cards, Magic the Gathering, Pokemon, kids will just get bored of it. Kids of the future probably won't care about those things. And I believe eventually every card game is going to have to go 100% digital. And if Konami don't jump ahead of the curve, they could be left behind like famous companies like Blockbuster, who did not hop online in time and just eventually just dwindled and died out. And then of course Konami can fix Yu-Gi-Oh! By combining TCG and OCG and giving us fairer sets, giving us combined sets, giving us the same rarities the OCG has. I mean, there's a ton of things I could talk about, but these are just the main things I personally think Konami can do. So, with all that being said, guys, Yu-Gi-Oh! Is on a decline. If you don't believe me, post your thoughts and opinions about that in the comment section down below. The famous Jeff Jones even told VCTRFS at the regionals that he expected Yu-Gi-Oh! To last another 2 years top. I personally give Yu-Gi-Oh! Another 3 to 5 years to last, unless Konami change their ways. And also, if you're a new viewer to the channel, I would love for you to subscribe for more Yu-Gi-Oh! Content. I'm trying to bring guys at least 3 to 5 videos a week. So yeah, man, this is Chris from Innovation Yu-Gi-Oh! And I'm signing out. Peace, guys. Stay innovative. Deuces.